Hello, my name is Katie, and I'll be guiding you through this all levels chair yoga class. So before we begin, the most important piece is that you have a chair that works well for this practice. So most chairs are going to be totally fine. I will say if there's any wheels on the bottom of your chair, you'll want to lock those wheels so that way there's no rolling around. If there's no option to do that, just pick a different chair. The one that I'm sitting in is a standard folding chair, and it is a pretty good height for most people when they choose to sit down in the chair. However, I will talk a little bit about how to modify based on your height. So for example, if I turn the chair to the side so you can see, this chair is a pretty good height for me because my knees are in line with the hip. They're not up higher, and my feet are not dangling, and they're grounded into the earth. So these are some key points that you want to look for when you're finding a chair. And if you notice, I'm sitting towards the very edge to make this happen. If I start to lean back a little bit, I can still pretty much ground my feet down. However, in some cases, that's when the feet might be dangling. So depending on the chair that you have that you're working with, you may be able to play around with adding some things in that allow you to get those same qualities. So let's say you're a little bit taller and your knees are pretty high up and your feet are touching the ground. You'll want to elevate underneath the seat so that way the hips can be higher, which would create a little bit more space for the knees to be at the same height as the hips. If the opposite is true for you, where the knees are maybe a little bit below or in line with the hips, but your feet are dangling, then you'll want to place something underneath each foot, like a book, something pretty solid. Think about how solid the ground is, just building that up to meet your feet. So you might need a couple books to make that happen. So if you need to, pause the video, assess your chair, and find any little props that you can bring in to either elevate the seat or place something underneath the feet if needed. If you feel pretty good in your chair just as is, even better. And if you need to pause the video, go ahead and you can replay when you're ready. So as we start to move into this chair yoga practice, I always like to say at the beginning that even though we're moving into simple movements and postures that are going to be accessible for almost all individuals, I want you to take ownership of the fact that you may need to move a little bit slower into the positions or omit something completely. If you're experiencing any pain or discomfort that doesn't feel like a stretch of the muscle or a loosening of the muscle, then you'll want to not move into that position or just avoid it completely. So really listen to your body as we move through these positions. And again, it's pretty much safe and accessible for everyone. I just wanted to make sure that you know ultimately this is your body and your practice. And I want you to make choices that feel right for you today. So even if you come back and do this practice again and again, you'll want to check in with yourself each time and see, what do I need in this moment, in this practice that I'm in, versus just assuming if your body could do it one day, that it's going to feel great the next too. So let's go ahead and get started and explore this together. If you haven't already, scoot towards the edge of your seat, ground down through the feet, and let the hands just rest comfortably on the lap. If you notice that the arms are really extended forward, this could really create a lot of strain or tension on the shoulders. So you might just invite the hands a little closer in, relaxing the shoulders, and sitting up nice and tall through the spine. You can relax the gaze down the bridge of your nose, or if you're comfortable, you have the option to close the eyes. And at first, we just become aware of the body. Notice any sensations in your body that are present right now. You might observe the way your sitting bones are placed on your chair or any props underneath. And pay close attention to the feet, rooting down into the ground or any props underneath. Start to notice your breath. Notice the inhale as it moves in through the nose and down into the lungs. And observe the exhale as it moves out through the nose. A slight hugging in of navel towards spine. You might begin to feel into the qualities of the inhale, how it creates spaciousness across the torso as the lungs fill up with breath. And notice that gentle hugging in and contraction of the exhale. As you press the breath out, release it completely. You might begin to deepen the breath, inhaling down into your lower lungs. Notice if the belly expands with the inhale and pulls in on the exhale. As you continue to fill the lungs with this deeper breath, you might notice the rib cage, maybe even the chest or collarbones expand with your breath. And a smooth and complete exhale releases the breath, preparing you for that next breath in. If it's helpful to place one or both hands on the belly, maybe the chest, you can feel into this subtle expansion and contraction from your breath. Allow the facial muscles to soften. Relax the space across the forehead. Soften the cheeks. Release any tension in the jaw, maybe letting there be space between upper and lower teeth. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and a big sigh through the mouth. Hands can come back down to the lap if you are letting them rest on the torso. Eyes can flutter open. Let's start by rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and down the back. You can start with a very slow and gentle movement. And if it feels natural to lift the hands off of the legs, you can start to open up a little bit more across the chest as you roll the shoulders. Let's reverse, go a few times the opposite way. Maybe start small again as you shrug shoulders forward and down. It might feel good to let the circles become a little larger. Good. Then relax the hands back down on the lap. Sit up nice and tall through the spine, but relax the chin down towards the chest. Rock your left ear towards your left shoulder and pause. Deep stretch along the side of the neck, perhaps even into the shoulder. You can keep your right hand as it is or start to lower it down, maybe extending it out to the side, just getting a little bit deeper into those little muscles across the neck, shoulder, and inner arm. You might notice a slightly different sensation as you lift or lower the arm, and just find a little sweet spot, somewhere that feels like a good stretch that you can take deep breaths and relax into. Right hand comes back to the thigh as you lower chin down towards the chest and rock the right ear towards the right shoulder. Same thing here. Although this side might need something different, the options could be to extend the arm down towards the side or out a little bit higher. Breathe into sensation and relax where you can. Left hand comes back to the thigh, chin to chest. Small movements, bringing one ear to the shoulder, back down through center, and over to the other side. Moving slowly, breathing deeply. Nice. Come back to center. Let the gaze be neutral and forward. Continue to check in with the spine throughout this practice. If you find yourself leaning forward or rounding and sinking back into the chair, try to scoot towards the edge, keep an openness across the chest, and lift and lengthen through the very top of the head. We'll place the right hand down, either at the base of the chair, or you might grab onto the seat if that's more accessible. As you lift, left arm up, maybe overhead. If this is too much on the shoulder, you can also place the hand on the hip and just arc a little bit through the side of the body. This is a side bend, stretching and lengthening through the left side body. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Lift back up through center to come out. Left hand comes down to the base of the chair. Other arm extends overhead. Same thing, 3 deep breaths to explore sensation. Bring the right hand down and let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. Next breath in helps to float the arms forward and up, lengthening a little bit more, slightly hugging the ribs in, engage the abdominal muscles as we prepare to twist. We'll turn open towards the left. Bring right hand to outer knee. Other hand can come towards the back or base of the chair. If you notice that you're holding up onto the back of the chair though, that may create some tension in the shoulder. So try to reach a little bit lower instead. Breathing deeply, relaxing through the shoulders as you take this twist. Next inhale, option to float the arms back up, or you can bring them towards the lap as we move to the other side. Left hand comes to outer right knee, other arm extends down to the base of the chair as you turn the chest and gaze towards the right. 3 deep breaths. Relax into the sensation. Arms can lift back overhead or bring them towards the lap. As you exhale, palms can come together and bring them right in front of the chest. Interlace the fingers and start to rotate the wrists. If it's accessible, bring the forearms closer together and start with very soft and gentle movements. Switch and start rotating the opposite way, still breathing deeply. Keep the fingers interlaced, but press the palms forward, stretching through a different part of the hand and wrist. You might even feel this into the forearms. Take a deep breath in and a smooth breath out. Bring the hands in closer. Release the hold of the fingertips. Arms come out wide. For some, the elbows might be a little bit lower, but see if you can bring them towards the height of your shoulders. Fingers spreading wide, nice active hands. On your inhale, elbows draw back, engage the upper back muscles, stretch across the chest. On the exhale, forearms come close together. Maybe they can touch, stretching through the upper back. Inhale, open, engage the upper back muscles. Exhale, spread those upper back muscles. Slight contraction. Try this a few more times. Slow and steady. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Place the hands down at the base of the chair. See if you can walk the grip back a little bit towards the back edge. As you press down through the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can bend at the elbows. Maybe let the gaze lift up. This is a seated back bend or heart opening position. 3 deep breaths here. Relax the shoulders, separate the feet a little bit wider, and either slide the hands down towards the knees, possibly the shins, as you hinge at the hips and fold forward. So you might just barely go anywhere. It could be a very slight bend as you relax the gaze down. We're stretching through the lower back, and at the same time, for those that want to go further, you can slide the hands down a little bit more, allowing the chest to lower towards the thighs. Slowly begin to lift up. Use the strength of your core to support the low back. and walk the feet in a little bit closer once again. Feet are about hip width distance apart, so they're not going to be touching or right close next to each other. Option to lift the left foot and rotate the ankle. If this is accessible, do a few in one rotation, one direction, and then switch and go the opposite way. Place that foot down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. As you set the foot down, you can choose to go back and forth doing the same thing for a few more rounds, or heel toe the right foot a little bit forward and cross the left ankle over the right knee. Now this might be enough for you right now, in which case you can stay exactly as you are. This is targeting the outer hip and glute on the left side. If you'd like to have a little bit more sensation and a deeper stretch, hold on to the base of the chair, walk the foot in a little bit closer, and that might already do enough. For a little extra, just a little bit of weight can press down on the thigh to deepen the stretch even more. Take a deep breath in and a smooth breath out. Either staying upright in this position, or you can bring in that forward fold movement once again to deepen the stretch even more. Only go towards your edge in the position and don't try to push past that edge. Remember to meet your body exactly as it is in this moment. Let's take 3 more deep breaths wherever you are. If you folded forward, use the strength of the core to lift back up. Extend left leg forward, point and flex at the foot before placing the foot down, and we'll move to the other side. You can use the hand for support to cross ankle over knee and adjust as you need to on this side because it may need something slightly different. That could mean a little less pressure pushing down on the thigh. Maybe that means not folding forward. If you're choosing to fold, do so to hinge at the hips. We're leading with the chest. So it's not a rounding of the shoulders and caving down, but we're leading forward with the chest, still finding length through the spine and relaxing into the position for 3 more breaths. Lift back up if you folded forward. Grab the base of the chair, extend the foot, point and flex. Point and flex. Set the foot down, let the arms relax down by your sides with the palms facing forward. This is a seated variation of mountain pose, a very common posture in yoga. So we want to think about rooting down through the feet, the sitting bones, lengthening through the crown of the head, letting the shoulders relax, the chest is open, and there's a slight awareness of the muscles in the core hugging in towards the center line. Feel free to stay in this position, or if you'd like to add in sun breaths, you can bring the arms out to the sides, lift them up overhead, fingertips or palms touch at the top, and float the hands down. So your options are staying here, holding the static position, or taking a few more rounds of these nourishing sun breaths, helping to circulate blood and oxygen through the body. Taking deep breaths in and out through the nose. Let's do a few more rounds of these sun breaths together if you chose to do them. The next time the hands come together and float down, if you're choosing that static shape, bring the hands together as well and let them land right in front of the chest. Relax or close the eyes and become aware of any sensations present in your body. Notice how the air feels across the surface of your skin. Notice the hands slightly pressing together. And allow a wave of softness to wash over the entire body. Relaxing the facial muscles. Softening the shoulders. Breath moving freely in and out of the lungs. And take this time to simply honor and acknowledge this beautiful gift that you just gave your body and your mind. This time of intentional movement, of mindfulness, this time of care and compassion towards yourself. You might take this moment to think of something that you're grateful for in your life. And may you continue throughout the rest of your day and week ahead with this gratitude so close to your heart that it's easy to bring to the forefront of your mind. And this too is the practice of yoga. Meeting life exactly as it is and creating space for gratitude to live within our hearts. Thank you so much for practicing along with me today. I truly hope that you've enjoyed this chair yoga practice. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me directly here at the Lotus Pond Center for Yoga and Health. You can leave a comment below the video or just send me a direct message. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope that you continue to make time for this intentional movement, this beautiful expression of being connected with mind and body and breath. Thank you very much. Namaste.